Hey everyone, it's been a little while, but my name is Jay, and this is another episode of Hackmastering Roll20, where we discuss playing the Hackmaster role-playing game on the Roll20 virtual tabletop system. And today I want to look at one of the things I think is most impactful in Roll20, and that's their dynamic lighting system. So basically, let's take a look. Over here, we've got Baradin, basically in some elven ruins, and what the Roll20 dynamic lighting system lets you do is make places dark, and then if characters have torches or lanterns or whatever, it illuminates however far they can actually see, and it goes pretty far, in my opinion, in adding to the immersion. So normally the way you would do this is by clicking on the character, on their token, and you go into the advanced properties, it has the emits light. Now, first of all, before you do anything else, you have to make sure that the page has dynamic lighting enabled. And of course, there's some other options, which we don't really need right now. Once that's enabled, you click on it in advanced properties. You have to check that the token has sight. That is a very important thing. Sometimes your players might start complaining they can't see anything. That's because you have to click that. And then if they have a light source, then you would hit all players see the light, because then anyone can see it. But if they have, say, like infravision or dark vision or something else, you would not click that. So right now, this is no light. So this is the GM view. If I select the token and hit Control L, that'll show me what the player sees. Nothing, right? So that's not really any good. So let's look at the different types of light we can have. In Hackmaster, say he's got a candle. A candle has a 30-foot, basically, vision. Like it produces light for up to 30 feet around. However, only 15 of that is good vision. It's dim beyond that. 360-degree angle. Boom. So now that is if he had a candle. That is basically all that the character can see. Everything in here is good lighting. Everything out in here is dim lighting, and that gives negatives to attack and defense, and I think even damage? I can't remember now. But basically, that's from a candle. If he had a torch, this would be much bigger, 60-30. And as you can see much more of the ruins. Assuming... I haven't bothered putting walls into here. His line of sight would obviously be, blocked by certain things. You can also have a cone. Let's say something like that, so they can look directly forward. A lot of games have lanterns, basically, that do that. However, the one thing is, in Hackmaster, lanterns actually have an arc like this, and you can see that it gives light around the character in a similar vein as a candle, but then it also has this arc in front of it. And unfortunately, as it is right now, there is no way to do that with the basic setup. But there is a way to do it. So I'm just going to exit out of here, and it's going to require another API script. I've attempted a few different versions, and this is the one I think works the easiest. So luckily, this is another one of those like super easy to install scripts. It's part of the Roll20 API script library. Just go down here and you search for torch. Torch. We have all the commands and everything here. Add the script. Okay, now let's go in. Alright, so we're back in, and basically, now that we've got torch enabled, here we are back in the middle room here. Can't really see much of anything still. So, what I would do first is put on, if you recall, it's got, for the illumination, it essentially is 50 feet of good light and another 30 feet or so of dim light. So I'm basically just going to call that 80, 50, and it's 90 degrees. Now, it's 90 degrees, except it's supposed to have a little bit of like a dim section, which it doesn't. So I'm actually going to make it 70 degrees. All players see this. So it's not quite as big as it shows, but that's because normally there would be like a few feet on either end where it was dimming, and this doesn't have that capability as of yet. Now, using torch though, I'm going to come in here and make sure I have the character selected, and basically now you could just use the torch command to do this, but I like the flicker command. Exclamation flicker on, and then you put in the overall radius and then the dim light. And the reason it's called flicker is you can barely see it on the edge there, but it actually, the light flickers and it's a little bit more atmospheric. Now, for whatever reason, if I go to preview this on the character, it doesn't show that. However, I do have another page here where I'm controlling Stig. This is from a player perspective, and this is what they can see. So if I move Baradin around, he still has, for whatever direction he's facing, he can control where the lantern points, and he still has the other light around him that's being emitted from the lantern itself. Now, I have also done lanterns with different levels of this, like the thief in my campaign has a little hand burglar's lamp, which basically barely illuminates around. It's been sealed, but it's also got a much tighter beam with lower range. There's a lot of stuff you can do with this. But yeah, for the longest time, the lamp system for Hackmaster was always problematic just because of the weird shape. It's hard to find this exact kind of thing, but this is one of the easiest ways to do it. Another way that I found you could do it was there's another API script that lets you basically make status tokens out of different pictures and things, and you could stick them on there. And then I could use that token to give light. But then it was always a little off-center, and I think this is the best way. So if your party wants to search through the Mines of Chaos or Creatin, Farpang, or any other famous Hackmaster dungeons, now they have the proper equipment, and they can use lanterns the way it's intended. I hope this helps everybody. I don't even have to put a link because that's an easy API to install. If you guys have any questions, just let me know, and I'll see what I can work on next. Good gaming.